Alright, let's get into it because things around Diddy have been spiraling out of control, and everyone is talking. If you thought Diddy's drama was done, you're in for a shock.
The biggest witness at Diddy's trial may be Diddy himself. According to his lawyer today, Diddy wants to tell his story, and his story is one of, quote, love, hurt, and heartbreak, end quote. Definitely leave in the comments what you think about that. So will he testify? I mean, most defendants don't because it's very risky to testify. And any trial is still a ways out, so he could very well change his mind. So is this kind of statement something meant to even convince potential jurors that there is another side of the story, despite the indictment saying that there's a ton of evidence and witnesses to this, that it's actually not true? That kind of a statement certainly helps him from a PR point of view, and maybe even from the potential jurors hearing that statement. Whether or not he actually does testify, I still think is very much in doubt.
Usher was involved with Diddy back in 2016. He was mentored by Diddy at a young age, and according to his statements, he reportedly witnessed some very questionable behavior while under Diddy's wing. Usher mentioned that the things that he saw were not suitable for someone his age and indicated that there was a lot of, yeah, you know what happening.
In what Diddy did to Usher or what Diddy did to Bieber, that we've seen these videos, not necessarily what he did, but the stories where he's living with them at 13. If he was their mentor, who was Diddy's mentor? We know some of the big names. I'm just curious if you have any names. You don't seem like
Diddy's defense team presented a proposal for his release, which included a multi-million-dollar bond and electronic monitoring. However, the prosecution successfully argued that this was insufficient to mitigate the risks.
The past few weeks have been packed with shocking twists, viral footage, and so many theories that it's hard to keep up. So, let's break it all down, starting with what got this roller coaster moving. First, let's revisit that wild nightclub incident. Diddy was out, living his usual high life, surrounded by the hottest names, music blasting, and then, bam, everything went off the rails. Eyewitnesses reported an intense argument breaking out between Diddy and a mystery man. Nobody's sure what triggered it, but word on the street is that it started over some business disagreements. Security had to rush in. People had their phones out, and in no time, clips of the chaos flooded social media. People were speculating about what happened, and Diddy's name was trending within minutes. But that wasn't all. Just as the nightclub buzz was settling, rumors of another confrontation started circulating. This time, the whispers were that Diddy got into a heated argument with a close associate. Some sources say it was about money. Others think it was more personal, possibly involving secrets from his inner circle. Who is this associate? Nobody's confirming yet, but the tension was thick enough to go viral on its own. More videos surfaced, this time showing Diddy's entourage trying to defuse the situation. It's like he was at the center of a storm that just kept getting bigger. And if you thought that was the peak of the drama, think again. Because just days later, Diddy made headlines again. But this time, it was for something much more serious. His arrest. Yup, you heard that right. News outlets were in a frenzy reporting that Diddy had been taken into custody. The details were hazy at first, but word quickly spread that this wasn't a minor incident. Reports suggested that the arrest was linked to a series of altercations that had been brewing for weeks. The media went crazy. Fans were losing it. And of course, the internet had a field day dissecting every little detail. Now, here's where things started to get really wild. Right after his arrest, more footage started circulating online. Leaked clips, supposedly from the scene, showed a tense standoff with authorities. People online were debating, some claiming Diddy was set up, while others were convinced he brought this on himself. And let's not forget the dramatic images of Diddy being escorted away, looking stone-faced. Those pictures alone set social media on fire, sparking discussions, arguments, and of course, memes. But this was just the beginning of a much larger, tangled web. With Diddy now in the headlines for all the wrong reasons, reactions poured in from every corner. Fans, critics, celebrities, everyone had something to say. The internet was buzzing with memes, viral tweets, and trending hashtags. Some folks rallied behind Diddy, defending him as a victim of a smear campaign, while others were quick to say, "I told you so." There was no shortage of opinions, and the debate just kept growing louder. Celebrities jumped into the fray too. Some of Diddy's closest friends and collaborators took to social media to voice their support, dropping vague statements about knowing the truth and standing by their brother. Others, however, kept their distance or were conspicuously silent, leading to even more speculation. What was going on behind the scenes? Was this the beginning of a fallout in the industry? Meanwhile, the tabloids went full throttle, dissecting every possible angle. They dug into Diddy's past, unearthing old controversies, past conflicts, and painting a picture of a man who had been spiraling for a while. They also interviewed so-called insiders who claimed to know the real story. The narratives varied wildly, but they all added fuel to the fire. Some painted Diddy as a reckless star caught in his own drama, while others suggested there was more to the story that had yet to come out. Then, the story took another twist. Over the past week, new developments in Diddy's case began to surface. Sources close to the situation started leaking information, claiming there was more evidence that could either make or break Diddy's defense. His legal team has been hard at work, and some say they found surprising angles that might change the entire narrative. Whispers of a potential lawsuit were in the air, and speculation about a courtroom showdown was everywhere. And it didn't stop there. Just a few days ago, news outlets reported that the case was already starting to have a ripple effect in the industry. Some of Diddy's business partners were allegedly reconsidering their deals, not wanting to be caught up in the fallout. Others were reportedly offering their support, doubling down on their association with him. It was a mixed bag of reactions, showing just how polarizing this situation had become. Social media was the main battleground for all these reactions. Twitter was ablaze with threads and arguments. TikTok creators hopped on the trend, posting videos analyzing every new piece of information. Instagram pages were flooded with stories, posts, and even parody accounts poking fun at the situation. But amidst all the chaos, one question kept popping up. What's the real story here? And more importantly, what happens next? Now, let's dive into the rabbit hole of speculations and theories, because, trust me, they are endless. First, there's the theory that Diddy is being targeted by some of his rivals. A handful of internet detectives are convinced that this is all a setup orchestrated by people in the industry who want to see him fall. They point to cryptic posts, mysterious social media activity, and even Diddy's own behavior as evidence that something bigger is at play. On the flip side, others believe this is simply the result of a series of bad decisions catching up with him. They argue that Diddy's been living on the edge for too long, making enemies, and that this arrest was inevitable. Some even say that the recent incidents were the last straw for authorities, pushing them to step in before things got worse. It's a theory that has traction, especially among those who followed Diddy's career closely. But then, there are the wild cards, the theories that suggest Diddy might be using this whole ordeal as a publicity stunt. Yeah, you heard that right. Some people are convinced that Diddy is orchestrating all this drama to stay in the spotlight, keeping his name trending and relevant. It's a bold claim, but given how the entertainment industry works, nothing seems too far-fetched. As for what happens next, it's a guessing game. Legal experts are weighing in, saying that the outcome of this case could go in multiple directions. If Diddy's team has the evidence they claim, there might be a dramatic twist in court. But if things go south, we could be looking at a prolonged legal battle that could drag on for months, maybe even years. And what would that mean for his career? Some think it could be a devastating blow, while others argue that Diddy is a master at reinventing himself and will come out stronger. One thing's for sure, this saga is far from over. Every day, new details are emerging, and the media isn't slowing down. So, buckle up because we're in for a bumpy ride. Whether Diddy manages to clear his name or faces more fallout, the world is watching, and everyone's got their popcorn ready. So, what do you think? Is Diddy caught in a web of lies, or is this just another chapter in his larger-than-life story?